Food in many African societies reflect agricultural activities in a particular area. Agriculture is the backbone of the economy. Subsistence farming in the Tsonga society was very common. In this episode of the Exploration of Shangani Culture, we are focusing on food, exploring traditional methods and practices like pounding, known as Kukandza by the Tonga people in the southeastern Lowveld of Zimbabwe. This program is being produced by the Lowveld Media Trust in partnership with the Culture Fund of Zimbabwe under the Creative Actions Program supported by the European Union Delegation to Zimbabwe.
Hina maendlelo a hina Vatsonga ku hi kuma xikapu xa hina hi ku na loko ya rima masin'wini hi kuma mavele hi tshovela hi vuya na wona hina process leyi endliwaka kunani ke swi va ke swi va swi nghena mundyelweni hi kota ku dya hina Vatsonga lava ha kanda hina Vatsonga lava ha kuya ha endla ku xin'wana na xin'wanyana process endla kunani xikhapu xi va kona a mundyelweni ya hina hi ku na loko ke swigayo swi nga ha ri kona kambe Mutsonga yena a kumeka ka dya xikhapu ka dya vuswa byi nga kandziwa tshana kambe byi kuyiwa hi ku i swo swa hina i identity ya hina timhaka ta machuri na mumusi i identity ya Vatsonga so ka menge swi twa ku hayi a Mutsonga wa xiviri u tivikana hi swona leswi i rivelela swikhafu ne malunghiseleliwe a swona ku ngo swo va na xiluku ngo swo va na yini Mutsonga a ri kona a ri mahlweni so eka hinkwaswo ke swi landza ndzhaku ka hina.
The primary staple food for this group is vuswa, which is a thick maize porridge commonly known as sadza in Zimbabwe, ugali in East Africa, and pap in South Africa. While they are settled in the low-veld areas with poor rainfall patterns, these people grow drought-resistant crops like sorghum and millet. Vuswa is also prepared using sorghum, which becomes known as vuswa bemavele. Mavele means sorghum. These people have a strong cultural connection to sorghum, which is also used in many cultural events like traditional initiations and rituals for beer brewing. Many traditional ceremonies in the Tonga society are characterized by food and drinks. This is the food served to the girls on the pass-out ceremony when they are graduating from Tikomba. It's called shiboko. What you see here is vuswa, which was cooked using sorghum. It's served with dried and buttered vegetables, commonly known as mbowa yetinyawa or just mukuswa. Vadzabi, who are the facilitators during the initiation process, use their hands to serve this food to the female initiates. Elderly women at the ceremony also eat this food. It's a tradition which survived the new trends. We attended this ceremony in Muhlanguleni, Chiredzi South. They eat different types of traditional foods during seclusion. Shiboko is only served on this day. The boys eat traditional foods during their seclusion as well. Beer brewing is also integrated into these initiations. Most importantly, the traditional initiation for the boys in the Tsonga society can only be done during good harvests to make sure that there is enough food. Beer brewing is also done during rituals. People drink beer when they are connecting with ancestors at a place called Ganzelweni. At this place, it's believed that the rain gods and ancestral spirits known as Mikwembu are also invoked using beer, and that they also drink beer. This is why they spill beer when gathering for these rituals. Historically, the Tsonga people used pestles and mortars, known as churi nemusi in the Hlengwe area, for grinding and preparing food, mostly their staple dishes like vuswa. This practice is commonly known in this society as Kukandza, and it was a woman's job. It is still a very common cultural practice which has preserved unique food heritage. We are visiting the home of Tsotsowani Elijah in Gontweni village of Muhlanguleni area in Chiredzi South. She is known in this village as Mana Sophia, which means Sophia's mother in Xitsonga.
Loko hi chele tshurini hi teka bikiri
hi kha mati hi chela tshurini hi teka musi hi vekela hi kandza mavele lawaya hi kandza za wu pfa humesa mudyangwana loko hi kandza ku kota leswi ku kandza hi endlela ku hi dya swilo swo saseka hi phinda hi khidzama maguyeni hi kuya mavele ya hina loko hi kuyile hi teka mapa hi neka a woma loko ma sweka o ka tsakama a hatla hela pupuma.
Winnowing known as kupepera using a winnowing basket, which is known as lihlelo, is a prerequisite for pounding and grinding processes. Pounding using pestles and mortars was done before grinding using grinding stones, a tradition known by the Hlengwe as kukuya.
Kukuya loku hambu ku sweka bwala loko sweka bwala u vona ku kukandani ku lavi hi khidzama futhi guyeni kwini hi kuya mila wa hina hi kuya mila wa hina se hi phumnela u swi tirha swo tala swo kuya ha kuya hi sweka futhi bwala hi swona sweswo ha kota futhi ku kandza hi kota sweswo tshomoka hi phinda hi khidzama futhi guyeni hi kuya hi guya hi kuya hi sweka hi mapa lawa a nga kuyiwa a pasukile nyana ku hi sweka mahewu a nandzihako a kahle a chichangana hi wo tumbuluko wa hina wa lowo chichangana hi swi hi tshamisaka xiswona lomu ka hina na sweswi a swi vuli ku hambi sweswi nga vuya xilungu hi chiye xigayo leswi ha tshika hi ka hi kandza mhaka hi wo tumbuluko hi nga tolovela ku hi tshamaka hi kandza no ku kuya hi ka hi dyondzisana vana va hina ku kandza no ku kuya vana va ka hina va chichangana a va swi koti ku va kula va nga dyondzisiwangi ntumbuluko wo ku kandza a va swi koti ku va pfuxela vanhu va nga losi ka hina loko hi pfuxela vanhu ka losiwa lomu ka hina ke chichangana lomu hi wo mapfuxelelano a hina hi wo ntumbuluko wa hina.
We are driving to Kambako Living History Museum, located near the Malilangwe Wildlife Reserve in Chiredzi. We are meeting Junior Matsuve and Justice Matsuve, who are the guides at this cultural center. Junior shows us how the Tsonga people extracted salt from salt-encrusted soil. Water is very essential for cooking. This is why the Tsonga people practiced dowsing or divining, also known as water witching. This was a tradition used to detect or locate underground water using mostly a Y-shaped tree branch. The dowser walks over the area holding this tree branch. It's expected to dip or twitch when reaching a targeted point with water. This is Justice Matsuve. Here at Kambako, he shows us how this works.
Asinga olovangi kusofika usochela mati kun'wana hi mhaka ku u ta ma kumela kule kumbe unga kela 50 meters kumbe 60 meters unga se kuma mati se la uma kuma kusuhani a hi tirhisa xidzandzana lexi un'wana nsinya unga green handle ka xibaleketani etlhamu lowu ya heriya ko hona masin'wini ka heriya matuva a pfumeli ku endla leyi hi mhaka ku wa tshoveka ku lava sinya ungeni unga tshovekiko ku loko u twister wa pfumela ku twistiwa kar la ku nga ne mati ku nga ne ekova hasi musaveni la xidzandzana lexi xa tsandzeka ku hindza xi fanele xi chuka hasi bye ku loko u yite xi loko u xi yalela xa kota ku vuya hi leno xi ku ba xikandza so u fanele u xi endla xi nangutsenyana leniya ku endlela ku xi wela leniya yeah se la ku nga ne mati xidzandzana lexi xa nangutsa hasi se wena wo xi twister kan'we ku ukuyini u famba katsongo laha ku nga na mati hambi ku ri ku i munhu ku tisa chini a nga koti ku xi hlula sweswi cha matwa mati hambi ni zama ku xi yalela a xi pfumele a wu tekeleli ku kwalaho wa maka laha xi nga komba kona u heta u lava in'wana ndhawu eku u kota ku vona ku kova wa wena u nga hasi u chela ka yakho ukwini u ya le lin'wana tlhelo laha ku nga na mati cha nangusa hasi loko u maka loko u connecta maki leyi ne leyi swi vula ku laha hasi na ku na kova.
It's believed that the movement here is a spontaneous signal which comes from the tree branch to indicate the water presence. We also wanted to have this experience, and this is what we did. It was just funny. This practice was used for centuries in many cultures. It's believed that dowsing is still being used by some borehole drilling companies to help them in their surveys. However, there is criticism by skeptics suggesting that the movements of the tree branch here are just unconscious muscle movements by the dowser, not a sign of water. They talk about the idiomotor phenomenon, where the hands move unexpectedly. The Tonga people are also well known for keeping huge herds of cattle and other livestock like goats, which were also used for subsistence purposes. They also ate game meat, since hunting was a common practice. They were mainly a riverine people who also relied on catching fish for consumption. Mopani worms, also known as matamani, are also very common in this area due to the widespread of the Mopani tree in the southeastern Lowveld. People also eat baobab fruits known as mabu. Baobab trees are some of the iconic features of this region.
Emizimba ayikula hitile marambo ahina atile ayinga adza kuwadza singava ko ekari asiteka kari ku ikumeka ka hivadzwa hikuri haida eswikhafu singa avaka emizimba ya hina swo kota inge ku muroho yetinyawa yetihoti hinkwaswo leswi ni makavata mabuhu mihandzu ye le phungeni singa swilo swi tsakisaka ngopfu na sweswi na kombela ku yala ka hilandelela elihanyelo lelo.
However, globalization necessitated the decline in the consumption of traditional foods. But healthcare practitioners encourage the consumption of traditional foods for good health.
We recommend foods that we grow at home, those which are not processed or where there are no additives in them, like legumes, the nuts, the vegetables, also the fruits or grain. These are healthier foods. Eating these foods, they reduce the chances of chronic infections or chronic diseases like hypertension and diabetes mellitus.
Food has been used as a cornerstone of cultural identity. It is also through food that societies are built. The economy and livelihoods of many African societies today are centered on food. In the next episode of the Exploration of Shangani Culture, we'll be focusing on this culture in modern societies, also focusing on effects of globalization and how the society is coping.